Exactly.
If you look at all these events you've done, what's the one you'd recommend people definitely give that a bash, and the one you'd be like, don't do that. That was that was
Do
misery.
it. I think the route that sticks in my head as like one of the best put together was probably the GB Duro route. I think like the way that route is like so well thought out, and when you're riding it, you're like feels like if I were to take you on a ride in my backyard here, once you know it,
Yeah,
the whole way, and it's almost a shame, I would say, to race it. I would love to go back and tour that route, because like it's so beautiful, and I think that to race it, there's sections that you should just be enjoying that are actually just end up being frustrating because you're trying to like press on.
yeah.
Um, but that's a great route. I think the Colorado Trail is probably my favorite route of all. It's really challenging. It's not something to like be taken lightly, but it's a really great test of like bikepacking ability. I think you got to put a lot of different things together, but it's hugely rewarding. Like you spend so much time above tree line, in a whole bunch of places that normally you struggle to get access with a bike. So that's one I would say chuck on the list, but get ready for it.
Yeah, it's definitely looks epic. One that's on, our mutual friend Mikkel runs Migration Gravel Race. That's definitely one that's on my list for next year. It just looks, I just love the project out there. Mikkel's a dude, obviously. It just looks like a cool race as well.
Yeah, that's a really cool one. They do a great job with it, and it's such a cool duality of like you go out there and you race hard, like you're there to race, but you look around, you're just like in the Masai Mara,
Yeah.
with like giraffes running around uh, on these like roads and trails that you would just never ride otherwise. You wouldn't even know where to go.
And like, how are you not getting lost? Like, what are you doing with your navigation that I'm not doing with my navigation? Because when I'm going on these trips, I'm like, oh shit, I've gone the wrong way and I'm turning around.
Yeah, you got to get the GPX loaded, and then like my trick is to always have the map on the same like zoom, so you understand like distance, if that makes sense. So you're like, okay, for me, it's like I have it on 200 meters, so
Ah,
I
so
can,
1 pixel is,
yeah,
200 meters or
you
whatever.
get like an idea, and then get the beeps on, so that like the second you go wrong, it just like yells at you like, hey, you've gone the wrong way.
Yes. I've
Um,
seen some dudes in Badlands that went like 15, 20K the wrong direction. And 15, 20K is no joke in Badlands. Like, that's just bringing
no,
hardship on yourself.
yes, 100%. Actually, the time before, or 2 years ago, when I did migration, I made a mistake and downloaded like the wrong GPX file, um, and was out front, and we just had this horrible mud section, and then the GPX stopped like halfway through the stage, and I thought I thought I remembered the way from like 2 years before when I'd done it, and obviously didn't, and rode like 10 k's the wrong direction almost
Oh,
to Tanzania, and they actually came in there's a helicopter they used to like clear the route of animals, and they they flew the helicopter and were just like pointing out like go back.
you're about to get killed by a rhino.
Had to flip it and ride back. So
Motor
it
paced by a
definitely
helicopter back into town.
exactly definitely happens. I do still get lost, but I mean for me, to be honest, like the bit of technology that there's a lot of technology that exists in cycling now that it probably serves a purpose somewhere, but for me doesn't add anything to the ride. I think the one biggest change that's happened, in probably the last like 5 years is the quality of like the GPS computers and the ability to find routes no matter
Yeah.
where you are. Like you can show up anywhere and you're like, damn, this is where everyone rides. Oh, there's a trail network here.
I was chatting to some kids on my group ride, and they're like 17, 18. One of them didn't know who Oasis was, which was just like blew my mind. He's that young. I was going to the Oasis concert. He's like, who's Oasis? I'm like, what?
How? And then you ask what year he was born and you're like, okay, that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, no. I was talking about when I raced in France. I was there in 2012, and there was Garmin's back then. WAHOO didn't exist. Hammerhead didn't exist. Garmin did exist, but don't think there was any mapping on it. If there was, I definitely didn't have it. I used to go training with a map, like an actual map. And I was explaining this to him, and he was looking at me like I was Christopher Columbus. Like I was talking about the Victorian era.
Yeah. It's like, I found one of my old iPods, one of the first like iPod touches in one of the old boxes we had from when we were moving, and I fired it up, and in the notes, like there was an old notes section, and I was like, what is this? And it was like all these French, because we lived in a team house just outside of Toulouse, and so I used to go on to like Google Maps on my laptop and then just write down like D23 and then like turn right onto this, and I would have this whole massive like I guess one step up from maps, but we used to get lost like all the time.
And you could legitimately get lost like 10k from home. Like I went on a cafe ride in France, and I was like meant to be 90 minutes or something, and ended up being like 8.5 hours. It was pitch black dark, piss and rain, couldn't find my way home. It was total shocker.
I normally I'd like to think I'm very good with direction, but there's something about that like rolling hill area in the south of France there where I could just get turned around so quickly, and like everything looks the same, and I would just get wicked lost.
Since getting back into training, the biggest thing that's hit me isn't fitness, it's fueling. I used to finish rides totally wrecked. I'd come through the door, collapse on the couch, scroll through Instagram and call it recovery. But now that I'm actually fueling properly, and that's anywhere from 80 to 120 grams of carbs an hour, depending on the session, it's a completely different story. I'm coming home from training feeling fresh, and my power data throughout the ride supports this. I can actually function when I get off the bike. It's honestly blown me away how big a difference that proper fueling makes. When I started fueling right, I realised just how good I could actually feel on the bike. A daily staple in my training now, it's for endurance, because I know exactly what I'm putting into my body. Every product is designed for performance. It's tested in real racing, and it's used by the very best, from Olympians to Tour de France riders. It's the same science, just without the luxury brand markup. Seriously, jump over to their site and check out the prices. You'll be absolutely blown away. It's real fuel, unbeatable price, great taste, no gut issues. Like, that's a winning combo for me. For endurance, built on science, proven in sweat. Check them out at forendurance.com and start fueling smarter. I'm going to put the link in the description down below.